hello everybody. Oh, my thing is not here. Of course it isn't. Oh no, hold on.
Once again, Luke is a ghost.
How do I
This
keep
time.
forgetting to do this? Oh man, if I keep
Mm.
doing it enough, then surely I'll remember. Let's see. How is best for me to fix this? Does that work? Nope. Good. Does that work? Yeah,
thought-
almost. Excellent. Okay, that'll do for now.
Wait, why is the top left cut off?
Well, the top left is cut off is because this is inheriting properties from things that don't make any sense. Don't worry about this.
My crown's vanished.
Yeah, your crown has vanished, and also your hang on, I can fix this. Let's turn that off. Boom. There you
I
go.
don't think anybody's ever said we have scuffs streams.
Well, listen. It's fine. Wait, no, your crown is gone as well. Don't worry. Wow. Perfect. There you go. Well, hey, welcome back. It's another, Thursday stream, and this time, we're just gonna be making some stuff live and just seeing what happens. Really, we have plans for a few different things we're gonna be working on. Lydia is gonna be joining us real soon. In the meantime, it's just me and Matt. So, we've given Matt obviously the crown for winning the race from last stream. Spoilers, but I got beat twice in a row. They won the best of three, and now for this stream you get the crown.
Glorious, nice crown.
Yeah, which you can actually get in the game.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
This is stolen straight from the game, I think.
Yes, directly ripped. But it's our game, so is it really stealing? Okay. We're gonna hopefully get me visible soon.
It's true, you're still not visible.
Yeah.
What's happened to you?
Well, you see, I have to launch this software, and it's just a mess, really. Yeah.
That software.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why, but it is super paranoid that I won't back anything up, and so every time I open it, it gives me 30 pop-ups of make sure to back up your files and things. But fear not, it's all backed up. And there you go. Right, I'm here now. I should have just popped in. But what's the plan then? What are you making first of all, and then I'll tell people what I'm up to.
My plan for today is to make at least the start of this alchemist log or the bestiary. So here, what I want is a thing where it's basically it's just a menu where players can go and see all the different monsters that they've encountered, see all the different information about them, or see what the different potions or ingredients. Basically, just stuff of all the data that they have access to, that they've unlocked. So I think that could be cool, and it could be a nice way if we have time to add small, maybe small descriptions to or small little sentences, funny little, Easter eggs in some of the descriptions of the monsters or something. I think there's room for a lot of flavor in here. So that's what I'm making today.
Big.
What about you, Luke? Because you are doing something completely different, aren't you?
I'm doing something really weird. Yeah, I'm gonna be working on trying to make something for the next project, or at least a candidate for what we're doing for the next project. I'm gonna be working on a shader pipeline for rendering 3D objects in a pixel art kind of view to try and make something that's really neat. However, so I have a bunch of articles and things that I'm going to be looking at and trying to figure my way through it. But I don't have too much shader training. I know like the fundamentals, and I've dabbled with a few bits and bobs, but this could be failure for me. But if it worked, oh man, it'd be really cool. I'll talk a little bit about it as I go, and I'll show some stuff. And we'll be swapping between views. Hopefully we get something that looks really neat and lets us dabble in 3D spaces for future projects, which is something I kind of really want to do, but like, it's so hard. 3D is hard because you have not only you know have a whole extra dimension of trouble, but like it means like you go from just like having to draw some sprites and some animation frames to like, you know, you have to 3D model it, you have to UV unwrap it, you have to texture it, you have to rig it, then you have to animate it. It's like whole extra level of stress on top of the basic stuff. But what I'm trying to make today is a pipeline that should make that process a lot easier and allow for much more rapid development, right? So the idea is that you'd still have to do some primitive 3D modeling, so like make some basic shapes and things, like block out a level. But then you can UV unwrap it, stick it in the engine, and then the camera and the, you know, all of the shaders and stuff get kind of abstract away the rest of the problems. You still need to, you know, dabble with rigging and all of that stuff, but because it's simple geometry, I think it could be okay, and maybe it'll be worth it for the advantages of being able to have a 3D world where you can kind of run around and have, I guess, some cooler stuff. I have some pretty optimistic goals for where I can take this. I'm sure later in the stream I'll be humbled by how difficult my plans are. But right now I'm very confident. I think I can make something cool. But we'll see. We'll see. You can do billboards and cheat. Well, yeah, we see billboards and cheating actually isn't a terrible idea at all. I mean, billboards and cheat does work for a lot of projects, but you know, like Don't Starve is an excellent example of a 3D game that uses billboard sprites for amazing effect. But I don't know. Sometimes I kind of want to like spin around a tree and like get all 3 dimensions, you know. But there's something nice about it. I'm not sure, but I'm not like a huge fan of like hyper realistic graphics, because I feel like it's like its goal is to imitate life, and because it doesn't quite get there, it kind of irks me a little bit because it doesn't quite achieve what it wants to, and when there is a flaw, I really see it. But for more like stylized, you know, styles, I suppose, you can get away with a lot more without, you know, having to like explicitly show everything, right? So like with pixel art and stuff, you get the general idea and then your mind can fill in the rest. And I really like that kind of thing. And plus, it's much harder to have like something that stands out if you go for hyperrealism. But I don't know, if we make something work here, it'd be kind of cool. I think like funky styles are always kind of the way, especially for like indies and stuff. Like for smaller companies, trying to make something that is like more visually out there, it's probably better than trying to make something in, you know, like akin to some of the like AAA title graphics kind of things, because it's just really hard. And the pipeline for making those things is way more tricky, and you know, you require bigger teams. We want something that's like can be done quickly by a small amount of people to great effect, you know. The only downside is that if it were that easy, everybody would do it. So that's the current challenge anyway. Don't Starve is a good game. I do like a bit of Don't Starve. I haven't played it in a while though. Maybe I should go back to it.
Hey, we could do some Don't Starve together.
That would be fun.
I haven't done some ages too.
Does the original Don't Starve have like a multiplayer thing, or is that Don't Starve Together I'm thinking of?
I think it might be Don't Starve Together. I
Mm.
don't remember the first one having multiplayer. Though to be fair, I might have just missed it.
Okay, hang on a moment. I get to do all of the lovely things of making a new Unity project.
What does the Unity project make a new Unity project? I'll explain vaguely what my process is going to be here.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm trying to make this alchemist log. I got quite a few elements I can reuse and like UI stuff I can use. So this scroll stuff is already kind of semi-done and different things that I can close and open and all of that is going to be. I'm just going to steal the code from other places. And I'm going to have different tabs, a bit like the settings menu, where you can go from probably things like hostiles, ingredients, maybe potions, and maybe NPC, maybe. Or characters or something. Like I'm not like currently I'm mostly going to focus on the hostiles and the ingredients, but the other tabs are definitely possible. My idea is I like making trying to visualize the UI and like what it's going to look like. So currently, I want to have basically these items, these hostile selection items, as I've called them, which are going to be scattered on the thing, and then if you select one, you'll have something a bit like. Let me go find one to give an example. Let's find this. Something a bit like this, maybe, probably not quite this, but something here where you'll have like the icon of the hostile in the middle, above, please, and like some text around here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. You can see my mouse below the hostile. There'll be some text, about the hostile, maybe showing like the damage it does, the health it has, the block it does, the weaknesses you've discovered, what kind of things it drops, and maybe a small description of the hostile. Maybe something silly like it's goopy, ooh, something like that, right? So that's my plan, but I like making the UI part of it first, so I can know what I'm working with in the code afterwards.
Nice.
And hopefully it's slightly nicer to look at than a lot of code. So I think when I get to code, we can move to Luke's side of things.
Oh, I get to mess around in an empty Unity scene for a moment as I figure things out. I also get to go and import all of our stuff because wait, is that Lydia?
It is me.
Hello.
Hello.
We've just been talking about what our plans are.
I know.
What do you have any fun plans?
I'm drawing a bigger guy. I'm doing all of the tat jobs, all of those tiny little things that have made a big list.
What Okay. What bigger guy are we referring to?
We need a new imp. We need a slightly larger imp.
Oh.
Indeed, we need a strong imp.
And we need a combat sprite, right? For
combat sprite imp. Oh, we need a combat sprite for the imp as well.
Oh, you got a combat sprite for the imp.
Yeah, but we need a stronger imp combat sprite.
For the stronger imp. I got it.
Obviously. And the same for the fire golem, yeah. You need a stronger fire golem sprite as well.
Excellent. Oh no, this is going to be even harder than I thought.
Why is the screen black, Luke?
Oh, probably because of annoying reasons. Is it still black?
Takes a while to update. But I think so, yes. No, that's done. Take it back. It's good now.
Okay. Sorry. That is because the weird way that we are currently making this work is through Discord share screens, and you have to. It tries to optimize, and when I have things closed, it will just to try and save my resources, make the screen grey, which is not great. But it works. So right now, so Lydia is currently drawing the bigger imp, which we're showing, and I am going through and finding the library that we use. So we, as a company, have made basically our own Unity library, which is super useful. It's got a bunch of awesome stuff in it, and we basically, the first thing we do when we make a new project is just open up the package manager and go install it. But
it is extremely useful. It is actually crazy how much, it's huge now, right? It's absolutely huge, but every single file pretty much will use something from it nowadays.
Yeah.
It is really, really useful.
I do wonder though how happy it will be with me, because I'm on a new computer, and so it might ask me to like. Oh no. Okay, it's working.
Yeah, it should just work.
Let's figure out who I am. I'm not logged into GitHub, I don't think. Oh, maybe it's because I'm in the wrong browser. I don't know.
Is it does it care? Which
Well, the repo is private, so it does it's like
is
a
it?
what?
I'm not sure it is, you know.
I think it is. Let me go find out.
It might be. I don't know.
Let's find out. It is. It is indeed a private library.
Okay. Probably should be.
Probably should be, but it is extremely useful. At one point, we'll show it off a little bit, but it's just like it's just programmer stuff, right? It's like
Yeah, it's just programming stuff. So I mean, if you're not interested in programming stuff, you're not going to find it particularly entertaining.
but it's like when you're for example, you know, like aggregating some properties from a list, you can just be like, it's just like adding like extensions to Unity stuff so that it's more like convenient. That's literally all it is. But it also has a bunch of like useful things. Like actually, I guess all of our coroutine stuff and animation library all stems from the library as well.
Yeah. I mean, I can show some stuff off. I'm probably about to go into the script anyway. Where do I want to put this? I want to put this in a folder that apparently doesn't exist. Not the engineering names. I need to think about how I actually want to do this. But I will open up the script to show. Actually, wait. I can even open up some of the GRG. This is the GRG lib down here. I don't know how much you get. All of this is GRG lib. As you can see, I mean, there's a few folders with a few things in them.
Yeah, but that's not gonna mean anything. That's just folders, it's files.
Yeah, I know.
But, I mean, it's just code. So it's not really something you can show off. It's like text.
Yeah.
Woo.
It is just text, but it is a lot of text.
Yeah, it's very useful. I love it, but I'm not sure how worthwhile it is to show.
Whenever my Visual Studios will load, you can I will show you probably the biggest file. In numbers of lines. Yeah, it's just a simple 1,460. Actually, not as much as I thought it would be.
That's because it's all split up. Having one big mega file isn't like, it's not good practice.
Yeah, I know, but this is the coroutine file. It has like all of the coroutines.
But most of those are like extensions of each other. Like there's like 20 million fades
Yes,
there.
true.
They're just.
I know, but some of them are images and some of them are sprites, and some of them are.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're all different. Otherwise, they would be redundant. But
Yes, but this is why I really like the GRG lib is. Over the years, over the projects, we have made an insane amount of coroutines and other functions. These are the ones I use the most, I think, the coroutines. Because anything that's animated will most likely use one of them.
So if people are wondering what like a coroutine is, it's the idea that like in programming, when you're running stuff, you generally run synchronous code. So the code in one frame basically goes from the top of your code to the bottom of your code flow, right? Starting from your main function, like your start point, then it'll go down, and then if you use functions, you can cause that like the flow to jump to different places, but it would all ultimately get to the end of your code and stop. And that's great for a lot of things. However, when you have animations, those are kind of tricky because generally speaking, you need to run them in real time, or like you might have something that you might want it to move, over the course of a few seconds from one place to another. And when you have that kind of thing going on, it can be quite tricky to do that in code. So coroutines are a very interesting concept, which basically let you run code but over real time. So you can do something along the lines of, say, do this thing, then wait for 5 seconds, and then do this other thing. And you can have that like running in a side process, and that is really, really convenient for animation. But of course, by default, there isn't really much for coroutines around, because it's like most of programming. You just get the tools and then you build stuff with it. And so this is a library of stuff that we've built with it. It's just like some pretty standard stuff, like various ways to interpolate things and move things around, which just mean you can get like nice smooth animations and do nice things over time without having to worry about really weird and annoying problems. So it's very convenient. It's really useful.
Well, I will say, you could switch to Lydia or yourself. I'm going to be doing some coding for a while, so I'm not sure how
Okay.
whatever's going to be for a bit.
I am going... Okay, right. You can come and see my point of view for a moment then. I'm going to be doing something in Blender. I'm going to be testing some 3D stuff. However, in order to test the 3D things, I need 3D things to test. However, there is the annoying issue of like I've been trained in different animation software, so I have to go and use like the real weird. Well, I don't use the Blender keys. I use the industry compatible thing. However, when I'm editing all of our shorts, or like when I'm editing a short, I have to use the Blender keybinds because the industry compatible ones make no sense. So I have to like keep swapping in and out anytime I like come and do any 3D things. But I generally use Blender more as a video editor than a 3D editor, which is, some would say, cursed, but I personally think is great. Perfect. Delete the cube just so that I can go ahead and add another cube in just a moment. But we're going to be making like a little level, and so I think to do that we can go make something a bit weird. I'm by no means the best 3D editor, or 3D modeler I should say, but we just need to make something simple.
Do you want me to give you a prompt?
I kind of know what I'm going for, but go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say you should make a little hill with an apple tree on it, with maybe a fence.
Hill on a tree. Okay.
An
That's...
apple tree. So then you can make little apple tree crates with little apples inside.
Sure. That sounds like something I could potentially do. Maybe, if I'm lucky. Okay. Gonna make some, like, little steps. Oh man, this is gonna be rough for the record, because I'm not super great at this, but yes, I always forget. That is not what we want. I need to... Wait, what? Why is, I feel like I don't understand how Blender works. I'm trying to add a new object, like a cube, for example, but it's not being added on the hierarchy. Am I crazy? This is a separate object, because I can't edit it. Oh, it's not a separate object. Okay. Excellent. Get to fumble around in 3D modeling. I never know whether I should be making the level in the engine itself or in Blender. Okay, right. So that I can tell you my like rough philosophy with. So I don't think it really matters all too much. I'm gonna make stuff, like at least like the non-terrain parts in Blender, and this plane is basically more like a guide. And then in Unity, I'll add a terrain object, and then replace this plane, but keep everything I put on there. Is the idea, but that depends how well this goes. Again, this is me just experimenting and see if I can make something cool. It might fail completely, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, how's your stuff going, Lydia?
Oh, I'm not muted. It's going good. I'm making an angry little fella.
Okay, yeah, I might swap over to you
fine.
quick. Let's have a look. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. I'm gonna make the little
So is the one on the left, like the far left, the combat
This
sprite?
is the normal imp,
Right.
and then this is the story one, and this is gonna be the big ones. So you see, he's slightly larger,
Oh, okay.
and he's got more of like a mane and bigger horns, and this little angry eye scar.
I like the eye scar.
Yeah.
Well, I think especially for like, sorry, just going back to Tuka's question, I think the blocking stuff out in the engine, especially earlier on, is perfectly reasonable thing to do. Yes, I am so confused. Like immediately out of the gate. How is this happening? Well, time to go immediately Google something. Good start.
Why are you googling, Luke?
Well, like when you make an object in Blender, it should be a its own object, right? But for some reason, it's not. Like, it's not working. I'm just getting like an object, like one object that is counting itself as everything that I add, right? So I add a cube, and then it's a plane and a cube, as opposed to being a plane and cube but separately. Does that make sense? Anything that means I don't have to open Blender is a good thing. Give it 20 minutes and I'll probably agree. Effectively googling how to add a cube. That's so sad. It just says toolbar add a cube. Yeah. That's not what that. Okay, that's fine. So I make a thing and it says use Shift A, but of course that's going to be in the Blender control scheme, not whatever control scheme I have. Why do I have to separate my cube? It should already be separate. Alright. Okay, maybe I'm just going crazy. I just added I deleted the original plane, added another, and it's working like when I add new objects now. So must be something I did. Amazing. Okay. How's your stuff going? I think mine's, I can finally kind of get it to function.
You know, I was talking to you guys and I was muted. I felt a bit silly.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Matthew.
No. Yeah, I was just saying my stuff is going okay. I'm at the stage where I'm like realizing that I could do this in a better way, and so I'm immediately rewriting with stuff I wrote 2 seconds ago. But that's fine. That tends to be the case with me. But I was just gonna say, we could, while doing some of the less, less interesting parts of just getting things set up, we could just talk, just have a quick chat and just about, what, I guess what we've done this week. What's the progress on the game?
Okay, sure, go ahead. Let's do it. I've been working on more Outpost stuff, primarily. We have written quite a lot of it now, but it's been quite a bigger task than I initially thought, because it's effectively all of the side stories added up. It's like another act worth of story stuff, which is it's pretty cool, and I've enjoyed doing some of them, but it was more than I had anticipated. But I think that's probably a good thing, because it means we've got like a nice amount of like side content, if that makes sense. So that's mainly been what I've been up to. I've had a few playtests through the game now, which is really cool to be able to just kind of do nicely. And I've enjoyed it quite a lot. I've played more of the second act, which was really cool. And I haven't had time yet to like fully test the third one. So I'll be interested to see that, because there's obviously a few levels that are yet to be finished. But when they are done, that'll be really cool to test out.
Did you finish the entirety of Act 2?
I finished most of Act 2. I played a lot in the first part because I was playing around. I was testing some of the potions to see if I could make something interesting happen. And I don't want to say too much, because it might be my tactic in the next race. You know what I mean?
I see.
Might be my tactics, but I gotta win that crown back. I got.
This crown is staying firmly on my head, Luke.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
So if we did a race through Act 2, Act 2 was longer than Act 1. It was harder in a way. Like there was more quests where I had to do them again when I played through. To be fair, I have made things slightly easier since I've done that, and I did one big change, because I also played through. Well, I played actually through the entire game up to the end of Act 2, to just check that everything was working correctly and make sure that things were balanced and about where they wanted them to be. Because we'd done so up to about halfway through Act 2 before, actually more like 2/3 through Act 2, both of us. But we never actually finished it, so I thought I would start again just to make sure that things were, because we'd made changes beforehand. And yeah, I was very happy. I skipped most of the stories because I was just trying to check more. I was more looking at the balance of things rather than the stories themselves. But yeah, it was pretty good. I realized I underestimated I underestimated the XP curve that I've given the thing, so I had to basically bring up the XP of a lot of monsters, to try and get the player characters to be slightly more leveled, because you start Act 2 with like level 7, 8 kind of thing. Maybe Axel's at level 9, and you could have a character at level 9 if you've replayed a few quests. But like if you haven't replayed too much, you start Act 2 with like level 8s kind of thing. And the fact that you only finished was level 11 70 seemed a bit small, basically. So I ramped things up a bit because, to be fair, I am leveling all characters simultaneously and not just choosing like 3 specific ones. But even so, it was still way too little. So I've gone back and I've amped up the XP. But I keep going on. Oh yeah, I'll give this like 20 more XP, and then having to remind myself that 20 more XP at level 10 is like 1. It's like basically nothing. So I keep trying to like. I'm scared to go a bit too, to go too hard the other way. So I'm trying to like, but it's hard to gauge because it's the scaling is it basically every 2 levels you half the amount of XP you gain. But it means that like at level 10 you're getting significantly less already, and like it's hard to know exactly how much XP is to the next level. I've made a whole bunch of sanity functions, or it's what I'm calling sanity functions, which are just like tell me how much XP I need to get from this level to the next level, or things like that, right? So that's been actually really helpful. But even so, it's like looking at the hostiles and looking at there's a relatively big jump between Act 1 and Act 2 in XP. How much XP they give is it's interesting. I'm assuming there's going to be a similar jump in Act 2 and Act 3. But yeah, I found it very fun. I was happy with the outcome of it. I was also very happy that like it felt nice to get through some of the like bosses and stuff. Like you felt really rewarded, and like it felt like it felt like an achievement to get past some of these bosses. In a way that I quite liked, because it was But to be fair, also like I did die to a couple of bosses with like 1 hit left that I had to deal. I was like, no. Tried to be too safe with my potions and stuff, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I think it's very good. It's exactly what I wanted to be. We should also talk about how we're probably because we made a big decision today on some of the stuff of the game, and notably Act 2, which is initially we had some quests had puzzles. So the pattern finder puzzle that we shared at one point in our Discord, but that puzzle game is going to be removed from the main storyline.
That's true.
Because we've decided that the main storyline doesn't really need that shake-up of gameplay. It is fun all the way. It doesn't get that repetitive, doesn't get that overly repetitive feel that we were worrying about. So we're still going to keep the pattern puzzle game, but we'll have it in like either side quests or secret quests, or maybe in the outpost. We're just going to move it to somewhere that's not the main story, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I think having to like move it to like be in, well, because the problem was is that there was very much like a rhythm to the game at the point when you kind of meet it. And so when we were discussing like having the puzzle things in the first place and like what its uses were before, it was more for like shaking things up and making things a bit different, but then it would be in quite a few places. But then as things went on, and we continued to make the game, we ended up adding it, but like in the second act was the first place it really appears, and by the time you get there, you just kind of don't really like. It kind of just feels a bit like out of place, and it's very like different experience-wise, and so it just kind of feels like odd to be there. And so we decided to move it to a more external place, in the same way that the card game is something that you can which is very different from the main game, but it's it's like you find it in like a side place, in the outposts, right? So we kind of wanted to make a situation that was similar to that in a regard. Where it was like it was there, but it was kind of content that you could that you would play like optionally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's the right place for it, because it allows people to get that refresher of gameplay if they want to have a break from the main thing, but it doesn't force it upon people. And I think that's why it felt a bit out of place, was that it was this weird thing that kind of broke up the rhythm, but that wasn't your choice to break up the rhythm. It was like, well, you have to do something different now, right? Instead of it being something that you choose to do, which makes it a very different feel.
So I think that's that'll definitely be like a good thing. I think it'll just mean that we can do some, like, in the future, like we can make the puzzles more, I guess, more of a challenge, more of their own thing, as opposed to like having to make something that kind of caters to being like still like, you know, really fast and quick to keep up with the questing pacing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to get there with my 3D modeling endeavors, which is nice.
Have you made the tree yet?
I have not made a tree, I'm afraid. Trees will be hard. Well, they'll be basic to do, but they won't look good for quite a while. Because I plan to tackle them in a bit of an awkward way. And it will be mainly handled by the engine, which means that in Blender they'll look like big blobs. But I think you know, big blobs will work for now.
Big rock can definitely work.
What should we do for outpost symbols?
Outpost symbols.
I've made a little mug, but it could be a building, could be a little campfire. Sort of exploring now.
I feel like the mug makes a lot of sense because it is a tavern, right?
What is a tree if not a cylinder with a sphere on top? Yeah, you know, we're making a sphere. It's gonna be real nice. Not only is it gonna be a cylinder with a sphere on top, but it's gonna be some linked spheres that are kind of melted together.
Whoa, Luke,
Yeah.
on stream?
It's just gonna it's gonna be good, okay? Hopefully it isn't a complete disaster, but it might be.
I do like your campfire, Lydia.
Thank you.
I see you're struggling with the flame though.
No, watch this, man.
Why are you looking?
Power of gradients.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, wait, I'm looking on the stream. It's delayed. It's delayed. I didn't see. Oh wow. That's
Well,
cool. I do like that. That's pretty cool.
Gotta figure out what we like better.
Well, I feel like with what we have for the outpost currently,
I think the mug is
the
better too.
the mug makes more sense.
Sits nicer in the little circle too.
What do people in chat think? Mug or campfire?
And this will be on the this will be on the map scene. It'll be what you go into. It's like a quest marker, but for outposts, basically.
Can we see the campfire in this video?
Yeah. Give me a second. I'll move it over.
I think that looks pretty cool.
You have to view it from far away there. What reads better? I think the mug does. I think we'll probably go with the mug.
Could be a coin or something. Is a good suggestion.
Oh, coin is a good one. Okay.
Current preference does lean towards the mug.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a name for the? Is there a name for the particular coinage of Tremor, or is it it's gold?
I don't think
Steel gold.
there's been any canonic mention of it. But I think it's just gold.
Hell yeah, good old fantasy gold.
You've named it in the very first story. The alchemist says something like, I could hire mercenaries if only I had the coin." Right? It is mentioned as coin.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
but
just
that
definitely a
makes-
coin currency because the art for it is a coin.
Yes, that too. I'm just saying, there's a little bit of specification. But yes, I don't think it's ever mentioned. I've always assumed it to be gold. I might have put gold somewhere.
Well, that's what we've been typing it as, I think, on the shop scene. You get little gold.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Okay.
Maybe we can do something like this. Get a little bit of this action going on. Not quite.
The troubles of making the UI art.
Uh-huh. Making something look really good and then zooming out and realizing you can't see it for shit. No!
I'm making a pillar right now.
Oh, hell
A
yeah.
pillar?
A pillar.
Is it the tree?
No, that.
Enter Steve would be overjoyed.
Perhaps, but it is not doing as I wish.
The pillar isn't responding.
It's not
As you wish.
pillaring properly.
It's not pillaring properly. That is quite tragic.
Glad you guys are so supportive.
I'm currently second guessing myself in every decision I'm making.
Why?
Okay. So
Get that
I'll
back to his
explain.
brain.
I'll explain my process here. When I make things like this, you might think it's better to go top down, in the sense that like, you do the big thing, which is the entire menu thing, right? Then you do the sections, then you do the items, right? And so you go from the top all the way down like a funnel. I tend to go the other way around because what I found is, if you start by the top, you're trying to make things and reference things that don't exist yet, right? Whereas if you start from the bottom, you're starting from the smallest thing. It's like making pasta, right? You can you want the finished product to be pasta, which requires the pan and the water, but you need. I'm not sure this analogy is very good.
No,
But
go for it. Keep going. It's like making pasta.
it's like making pasta. You want to use the pasta first, and not the pan.
Because if you use
Well,
the pasta last,
If
God
you put
forbid.
just like, so you're just throwing pasta where on the hob?
You just throw pasta on the hob,
Anywhere,
and
as long as
then
it's
you.
not first.
That's how you make pasta.
Okay, that was a bad analogy. Let me think of a better analogy. Okay.
Do I need to boil the water? Do I need to bring it to boil first? Or can I just do it at the same time?
No. Okay. I'm gonna restart my analogy because it did not work. Basically, it's like making a sand castle, right? Or let's just say a castle out of bricks, right? You're going to first try and get the
Okay.
bricks before you make the castle.
Right, yeah.
This is not. I can't find a good analogy. But basically,
You
I'm
need
starting
to-
at the
The
smaller
sand
parts.
bricks. The sand bricks.
I started at the parts that are going to be repeated a bunch, and then I'm going to go up to the parts that are repeated only slightly, and then go up to the parts that are not repeated at all. So it's like I'm starting from the bottom. Is what I'm trying to say. So what I've done is I know there's going to be different sections to my alchemist log, right? So there's going to be a bestiary section. There's probably going to be a plant section. There might even be a potion and whatever section.
Sure.
So, but the most of the functionality of these different sections is going to be the same. It's going to be if you press on all these items, then show information here, right? So I can make the different sections instead of making a single class for each section, or at least instead of making a completely unique class for each section, I can make them all inherit from an abstract class that does most of the heavy lifting, right? Like creating the items, checking if you press on them, etc. And then just have the different section classes have the unique parts. So I can have just the abstract function on item pressed so that they can do different things. To be honest, I'm not sure I need an abstract function on item pressed because they all do basically the same thing. In fact, I think they will do all the same thing. So maybe I'll make that general too. But this is why I'm second guessing myself. I'm trying to see in my brain what parts are going to be identical for me to not have to rewrite them several times. But one of the things is there's also going to be a point where you look at the thing you've clicked on, right? So you click on a hostile and you look at this hostile in that section, right? And so I was going to make a class for that part, call it like a focus handler or something, or the alchemist log focus handler. And that part could just take the base item, figure out what it is, and then display it, because that might just be the easiest case. So everything, all the heavy lifting is done by it. Then like nothing else has to really do much except have information. I think I'm going to do that. That makes more sense. I think that makes more sense. I'm going to say that makes more sense. I'm claiming it makes more sense. The only problem with the focus thing, like being one class, is that you would think that they always do the same thing, as in it takes the information in and it displays it. But how it displays it's going to be different depending on if it's a hostile or an ingredient. Because the ingredient's going to be, okay, what is it used in? Get a description, get a name, get an icon. The hostile is going to be get an icon, get like damage, get health, get block, and get a description. And then potions and NPCs are going to be different again. So I definitely need a way to make sure. But yeah, I think because the other option is that I can make the alchemist log, like the focus point, be a separate item for each section. So I can have them really unique for each section and make it like inherit off a base class. I could do that way, but I don't know if that's better. I feel like that's just more complicated. This is my process. This is why
So,
this is why I say second guess myself.
which part of the sandcastle was this?
Sandcastle. Oh, this is the door. You know, like
Oh,
you,
okay,
you,
I understand now.
you've got a bucket for a door, right? And like,
It's like the third
do
step
you
in making pasta.
exactly no? But do you it's do you want to have every door in your castle be the same, or do you want them to be slightly different? You want them to be slightly different, right? But do you use the same mold and then just scratch in different things into the doors once you've made the door, or do you just make different molds? You know, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. You know, like do I change the mold, or do I use the same mold and then just make scratches on the sandcastle afterwards?
Very well.
I think that analogy stuck a bit more than the previous one. What's a good analogy for something that you do the smaller parts first and then build up?
That.
What should be?
Oh, wait, I've been muted for so long. I think you
Oh.
saved it then, Matt. I think you saved it.
Thank you.
I mean, Lego is a good example. You know, start
Oh,
small,
yeah.
build up.
What about yeah? What about clock? Imagine a clock, right?
Okay.
You make the gears first, and then you put them all together, right? And then you
Yeah.
make the top part to look at things, right? So it's like
The top
programming
part
is
to
like
look at
making
things.
a clock.
Do you mean glass?
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, how else will the clock tell time?
No, I mean, like, I understand that you're putting stuff together here, but I don't know exactly how well that describes, you know, inheritance. But
Yeah, but I know it's just the order in which I'm doing things that's important here, Luke. You know, I'm starting with the small parts, and then going to the bigger parts, right?
okay. No, I mean,
Granted, my analogy of making pasta was not very good.
No, it was great.
It is making me want to make pasta, though. So there you go.
did you not have pasta for lunch?
I don't see your point. One man's allowed to have pasta for lunch and for dinner if he wishes.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't want to stop you.
Good, because nobody gets in between me and my pasta. Like.
True. Okay. Oh, I can have a pillar that's fallen over here. I'm cooking. This is gonna be good.
I think step one of all these tasks is to create the universe, which is a pretty big part.
That is a big part.
It's true. You can't have pasta without the universe. You really should have led with that, man.
You could try, but it would be difficult.
I mean, how are you gonna get pots? You need the universe to have pots.
Okay. Now I just need to add trees, and I think I've made something pretty nice. I think we're doing it. We're doing it.
Have you made the fence then? What
Have
are
I-
you making?
I'll be honest. I've gone a bit abstract from Lydia's prompt.
Nice. I like abstract.
We like the creativity.
Are we allowed a small sneaky spoiler?
No. This will like trust. You'll see it, and you'll be like, "Whoa." That's.
I see.
Setting the bar quite highly.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It truly is, isn't
We
it?
gotta say whoa.
like it's beautiful what I've created. So
Are you gonna
Well-
make a sheep for your hill and your pillow?
that's not in today's brief, I'm afraid.
Personally, I think you should make
Aw.
a dragon. You know, just make a dragon
Oh
in
yeah,
there as well.
yeah.
I mean, that's easy, right?
Make a spaghetti dragon.
What? Why?
It's like the wiggly Eastern ones, but it's made out of spaghetti.
Make it out of noodles.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be made out of primitive blender cubes.
Can you eat primitive blender cubes?
You can certainly try.
Yeah.
Can you make a blender cylinder with love? I don't think so. I think they're always fueled by hatred.
I'm getting meowed at by my cat.
Oh, put her on.
Meow.
What does she have to say?
Meow, apparently.
Oh,
I don't know if you could hear it.
I didn't
No.
think it.
She does this thing where her life's goal is to sit on me as highest percentage that she can during the day. So the fact that she hasn't been on my lap for 100% of the day is problematic for her, you see.
No,
Hmm.
no, poor baby. And you were snuggling Dorian the other day. She's probably jealous.
Yeah, when I go outside, I get Dorian. But Dorian's less. Actually, Dorian probably is just as bad if I let him. I'm just not as downstairs as much as I am in this office. But Jen has the extraness of she'll also usually steal my quilt at night, so I'm sleeping under half a quilt.
She was very cute though.
Well, she's adorable, but that's kind of the problem. Can't say no to her.
As Luke is the opposite problem. He says no to Lola and she does it more. She's realized that Luke stores his fresh water, his new glasses on his new unit, and she can fully climb up there.
That's quite funny.
So that's been our latest struggle with her.
There's no funny, man. She's been
Very
drinking my
funny.
water. It's not
It's
okay.
been very funny.
I don't know how to stop her.
And I taught her how to open and close doors so she can get in by herself too.
Personally, I'm so used to never leaving a glass out, with water anywhere in this house. That for me, it doesn't sound like much of a problem.
Well, the main issue is that like I have like normally I can like hear them. You know what I mean? Like but they've
Oh, you're just paranoid
upsettingly.
now.
She no longer has her bell because she lost it somewhere. And now what that means is we have this issue where she's really sneaky, and she knows it.
Oh, she doesn't have the bell anymore.
No, she
No.
escaped it.
She
We got her a new
she
one and she
lost
managed
it.
to get out again. But towards the end, she'd gotten so good at hunting things with the bell on that she was still bringing things in. So it didn't help. We've merely made her stronger.
No,
Now
cat
she's-
is going to be a cat, I guess.
Yeah, but she is very cute.
She is very cute, yeah.
I love our little murder goblin.
You can eat anything once. That's some true wisdom right there.
Not,
Not
as
wrong
pasta.
though, is it?
He won't finish the chew. He'll get ya.
I like my pasta. I like so I live in France and I'm doxing myself, but you get a, a kind of there's a French type of ravioli which is called ravioli d'Orient, which are really nice. Um, they're they're really simple. They're like very small, like teeny pocket pasta things. Um, and they're so nice. And what's really good about them is like I have them for lunch basically almost well about half the days. But one of the reasons is because like while I'm working, it's just so nice to have something I can make in like a minute. Because they cook in no time at all, and they're really really nice. So I have those for a lot of my lunches.
Sounds sensible to me.
Mm. But it does mean that I eat a lot of pasta. Because when I cook for myself, I usually cook pasta, at least in the evenings, just because I'm relatively lazy. I'll be honest.
That's okay though if that's like what you really like to eat.
I mean, I change up the sauce and I do weird and interesting things that people would disapprove of, I think. But you know.
Oh no.
Oh, speaking of
Don't.
food choices
I'm
that
not sure if
people might
like.
disapprove of.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Do
like-
we have to? I knew the moment
think-
that was mentioned, I would get
I don't know, I
harassed
feel
for
like-
this.
I feel like the people need to know.
You don't have to make my like
What?
weird food choices public.
I mean, I won't out you if you're not ready, but the consequences will haunt you one day.
Why would you do this? I was experimenting at lunch and I ate something and it was really nice, and the others don't believe me.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I
I
believe that you
believe that
enjoyed
you
it.
found it nice. I just also believe that it dealt psychic damage to everyone you told.
That I won't. I mean, I told my mum because I thought maybe she'd like get it.
Understood.
She did not. She
did
was
not,
also
okay.
upset.
Yeah, I can't say I'm that surprised. To be honest, it's this kind of thing which like I've done weirder things with things I enjoy, so I can see why it could have worked, right? But it's just for me,
Don't
it's also.
give him that.
I mean, the problem is that for
Don't
me, you
lessen
mix
the
the.
sins that have been committed this day.
I mean, the problem for me is that you're starting with ingredients that I don't particularly enjoy, so it was never going to go very far.
Yeah.
But yes, but no, I mean, I think it's fun to experiment with food. You know, sometimes I'll do random shit and it works. So I can't, you know, I ought to celebrate the fact that Luke said that you tried something, even though it is kind of weird.
You guys are hyping this up too much. People are gonna be too curious now. There's no need to worry about it. Just,
Confess.
no.
Confess. If it was so good, why are you hiding the recipe, huh? Huh?
Oh my god. Oh man. But yes.
People will be. They'll be worried. They'll be afraid. I mean, they don't need to be.
I think they do. With someone like you running around. Doing
So,
such devious things.
To bring us back on track a bit more,
Mhm.
Lydia, you've been drawing this this timeline background for
I
the past few minutes. So what's this for? Which part of the game is this for?
Well, for the timeline background, you've probably seen them. This is it's sort of like just a little background art that's in the combat scenes. But we want just a unique one for all of the different regions. Add a bit of flair to things. So I'm currently doing the Ember Glade one,
Nice.
and then I'll be doing the Winterdew Pines, which is quite cool.
Hell yeah. I do like these backgrounds. I must admit, I really like what you've done with the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I'm pretty chuffed with it. Got to put a little break in the trees so that we can get all of the little ruins in.
I think you should I think you should have breaking the trees and add a jellyfish.
Matthew, absolutely not.
Sorry, I was trying to find something kind of ridiculous to say in the middle.
In one of the ice lakes in the Winterdew Pines, should I put a jellyfish? Frozen.
Yeah.
Perfect. We can hide in the detail.
A nice jellyfish. I like that.
Perfect. Oh no.
Oh, listen, I've added your jellyfish. Your jellyfish is already in. You don't have to go too crazy with
Wait,
the
where's
jellyfish
the
stuff.
jellyfish?
It's in a secret place.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't seen the secret ones yet.
Calm yourself. It'll be there. It'll be there. But
Luke, there's something you should know.
yeah,
Jellyfish are like
Drugs.
I was gonna say pasta. For some reason, I have pasta in my mind, guys. Jellyfish is like pasta. You can never have too much of it.
I've just
I was
like.
desperately trying to find something that other than pasta to say, but I failed.
That's healthy, I'm sure.
Jellyfish are like sandcastles. You do something.
You
and
build
get
them
it
up.
more. You build them up from the bricks made of sand.
Okay. I'm going to give you a challenge then, Lydia.
Oh god, okay.
How would you describe drawing what you're currently drawing, but as an analogy, right? Like, what analogy would you give for how you're drawing it?
Pen on paper, go scribble? Well, I mean,
That's not an analogy.
as an
It's just a
analogy?
description.
Oh, jeez. I don't think I have. You know, I just don't have the insights in life that you have, Matthew. I'm not as wise.
Sounds like a cop out, I'm gonna say.
I'm not sure what analogy I give. What analogy would you give, man?
What, for drawing? Like I said, I'm not an artist. I can't draw for the life of me. So
No, but you can behold. How does
I
this
can-
feel?
I can behold. This makes me feel.
You just say sad.
No,
Oh no.
sad, just
Deeply
despondent.
upset.
Yeah, I hate it so much. I just oh wow. No. This makes me feel. I'm desperately trying to think of something.
Don't say pasta.
Feels
I'm
like
gonna say pasta.
Oh, that's so good.
I know I've said pasta to like 3 or 4 things now, but I don't say pasta to everything.
Some things are jellyfish.
Some things are jellyfish. You're correct. I think it makes me think of mystery. There you go. Makes me think of a mysterious outside world where things are calm, but not too calm, but also suspicious. You know?
What is? What?
Well, you don't feel calm and suspicious, Luke, when you look at this? You're not struck by whimsy?
Whimsy maybe. I can see whimsy. Oh man.
Ugh.
Drop brush size.
My tree is struggling right now, but we're getting there.
Yeah, you sit on the tree. Once you've made one tree, you're just going to duplicate it.
Yes. Well, that is.
Sounds relatively sensible. Sorry, not simple.
It is just the way, I'm afraid.
I was not saying it shouldn't be. It sounds, as I said, the most sensible option.
I'm not like it's not gonna be too crazy, but it will be probably the best tree you've ever seen.
Yeah,
wow.
probably.
Mm.
What's the best tree you've ever seen to date? Matt, what's yours gonna be?
What a terrible
Is it real or
question.
not real?
What's the best tree you've seen?
Yeah,
It's a valid question.
you're making bold claims, Luke. I want to know what you're up against.
Okay, okay.
What's Matthew's best tree?
Again, real or not real?
It can encompass both. It can be a real tree, or it can be a
Ooh, okay.
gifted.
I mean, one of the most memorable ones I think everybody will agree with is the Elden Ring tree. It's quite memorable. It's pretty
The
cool.
Erd tree.
Yeah,
Tree.
pretty good tree. There's a couple of trees in. There's often there's certain films that I would not remember the names of, but that use like a solitary tree in like a farm, where to display the one person who's on it or something, like swinging by swing or who's going beside it. And quite often they look very cool. Trees can look very cool, but it's hard to give you the exact tree. It's hard to describe one tree from another, really.
That's fair enough.
I like it. My grandparents' house has a like weeping willow tree, which is kind of cool.
Ooh.
Pretty nice tree.
Willow trees are very cool.
Oh wait! The Deku tree from Zelda can talk, which makes it better. I agree with you. That's a good
Damn.
point.
That's
The
a
Deku
really
tree from
good
Zelda.
point.
Actually, in Skyward Sword, there's I think the Deku tree again, who's really cool. I like him in there.
What
He's
does the
pretty
sword? What does the tree say?
In Ocarina of Time, he just kind of dies immediately from my memory.
What the fuck? Oh no!
Oh, he does. I mean,
Ow.
Why would you do that?
he gets blighted and tells you to go. Well, actually, no. Wait.
Oh no!
Do you save him? I can't remember if you save him or not. Maybe you save him. I haven't played this game in too long. He tells you he's definitely sick because you go in him, and you kind of destroy, like, kill a bunch of spiders, and then there's a boss at the end. And so, like, they're one of the first dungeons of the game. But I feel like he dies. I might be making that up. Maybe he doesn't die.
You didn't need to kill him, did you, man?
Yeah, you climb inside him first, then he dies. He does die. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No! Oh, that's so sad.
There's a baby one. I don't remember the baby one. But I'll take your word for it. Any other prominent... Oh, there is one, actually. Sorry, I was going to ask, is there any other prominent trees in video games? But there is one that I'm trying to find.
The world tree, Yggdrasil. Is that how you say it? Yggdrasil?
I don't know.
From God of
Oh,
War.
the
and
world
from Norse
tree.
mythology. Yeah, the
Mm.
world tree.
I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of something that I don't
Oh,
think
the
anybody
good
else will
old
think
world
of.
tree.
Is... Oh, what's the game that's really based, but I can't remember the name of. I played it relatively recently, I think. Okay, give me a second. I might take a quick second to find. I've played many games. I replayed it at some point. Okay, I think I went past it. Okay, let's go to my profile. I might be able to see it better with the. Down in there. Children of Morta, that's what I was looking for. There you go. Children of Morta, I'm pretty sure, has a huge tree in the background of some of their shots, which are really cool. Children of Morta is a beautiful game, from my memory.
I've never played it.
Yeah, it's a relatively, well, I'm not sure how obscure it is, but I haven't really heard anybody else, I don't think anybody I know has played it other than me, except
Oh, what is this, right?
Children of Morta.
I've heard you mention it before.
It does sound
Yeah,
familiar.
I have talked about it before because I do actually really enjoy it. It's a very, it's a game I think you'd like, Luke, because I mean, it's just very good. It's a bit of a, it has a really cool story. It's a bit of a sad story, like it's a melancholic story from my memory. You're trying to save the world from like this basically this rotting thing that's this corruption that's kind of killing all the plants and all the animals around. And you're the family of Mortar, I assume. Um, and you got these different. Each character has a different ability, and there's quite a few characters, and they're all kind of cool. And yeah, the gameplay is really fun. It looks really pretty. It's relatively challenging from my memory. It's actually weird because I remember the first time I played it, finding it really hard, and then I played it again like several years later and finding it incredibly easy. So maybe I was just better at game. But it's really good. Earthbound has tree enemies that ambush and explode. Those are some good trees.
Those are some powerful trees.
It makes me think of the Zelda trees in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that just are not actually trees. The ones that suddenly pop out from the ground and slam you.
Oh, mimic tree? You get mimic trees in that game?
Yeah.
What the heck?
You even get mimic apple trees, which are really evil because they have apples in them. So you go
What the
towards
heck?
them, and then they'll slam you.
Oh no!
You can do a lot with trees. Lydia, I know this may be crazy, but you see those leaf assets that you're just making?
Yeah.
I could make them move.
You could do that, Matthew. Yes, you could. You could make the move. Would you like separate
That'd
leaf
be.
assets?
You should do that. Yeah. That'd be good.
I feel like that would make a lot of sense.
Yep.
I feel like I've just hurt your soul.
No.
I just saw you making leaves, and I was like, well, I mean, those could move, you know.
Let's do one of these as well then. Nice.
You like that, yeah? Are you going to make a different background for the sword forest, or are you going to keep the same one as the Emberglade?
The sword forest?
The sword forest.
Which one is the sword forest?
No, the sword.
Oh, sword forest,
sword.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, that one is more swampy.
Okay, cool.
So you're gonna get some little dangly trees and some spooky dangling vines and dangling other things. A lot of dangling in sword forest.
A lot of dangling.
A lot of dangling, a lot of mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
That's the
I
vibe.
am curious of there's a few so there's a couple of boss fights in Sword, which could be nice to have something unique on the timeline, but I'm not sure what it would be.
We can add unique ones to it. These backgrounds aren't too difficult to make, so if you want special ones, we can make that happen.
I mean, a special one for the Demon Lord fight could be cool. Or for
Yeah.
the other
Yeah,
other
the
things.
altar.
Yeah, near the altar could be cool. And hey, for the final boss of the game, it could be also cool.
Well,
Though to be fair, that's probably going to involve.
yeah, I think that one's going to have a special background.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that the case?
Yeah.
So that should be all good.
No. Sorry. It's not a button. Oh, actually, sorry. Coming back to the tree discussion. The Forger King 2 on one of the 5 main storylines. One of the main storylines is you're trying to save this big tree that keeps talking to you. It keeps saying things like, "Oh, I'm too old for this," from my memory.
Okay.
There you go. Random tree.
Hell
Thrown
yeah,
at
tree
you.
trivia.
Forger King 2 seems to have gotten even more buggy than when we started playing it.
Wait, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really quite buggy. It's
I mean, I find them like actually. My brother put it well when we were playing. He said you find it relatively endearing how buggy the game is. It's like it's trying. It's getting there. Um,
Oh.
it's the thing is it's despite its bugs, it's still quite fun. But there's certain bugs which are very annoying, and you would really like. There's been a couple of bugs which have had us out F4 and like restart the game, which are relatively problematic.
It's not so
Yeah, which is not great. But for the most part, most of the bugs are just like they're just kind of silly, like random things just falling through the floor for some reason, or like you know, um, or like you don't see the correct stats because you're looking at because you have a different character selected somewhere that you can't see, or just weird things like this. The most annoying one that one of the more worrying ones that we had was I think the game thought it was paused when it wasn't because you couldn't interact with anything, and the way we fixed it was by unpausing and pausing, sorry, by pausing and unpausing. Hence why I think it thinks it was paused, things like that. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit. The thing is that what's really a bit weird is that when I bought it, like when we started playing it, it was relatively okay, and it was just after an update that seemed to fix a lot of the bugs. And then recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was an update that seemed to just reintroduce them all back here.
No, no.
Basically, because
Oh.
yeah, it does seem that at least me and my brothers got the short end of the stick in the sense that like, as in we got the better deal than a lot of people. I've seen a few reviews without that, people seem to be crashing way more often than I am. And having way more game breaking bugs. Because most of the bugs I'm finding again are mostly just silly, or like not that annoying, just a bit, just a bit. Eh. Um, but there's certain things I did find interesting though, which aren't bugs. There's certain design things which I'm curious by, and the main one is in the game you have a mechanic which is different weapons or like enemies can apply different status effects to you, right? So you can be burning, or you can bleed, or you can be freezing, etc.
Mhm.
And you have one status effect which is called wet, which removes your immunities to all resistances if you're wet, right? So like if you are resistant to shock, then if you're immune, if you're wet, then you're no longer resistant to shock, right? For example. Um, Now, why I bring this up is because one of the enemies in this game is immune to being wet, which is fine, which makes sense, but they're not immune to anything else. So they're immune to a condition that wouldn't do anything even if it was applied to them,
Oh.
which is where I'm like, what was the point? I guess flavor. I mean, it makes sense for like these fish people to be immune to wet, but when they're not immune to anything else, mechanically it doesn't do anything. Which I've always found a bit funny. But there you go. Yeah. Yes, we finished yesterday. Me and my brother, we finished the fourth chapter. And actually there was a couple of bugs yesterday too.
What was
But,
the best one?
The best one. So I think the one that annoyed us the most, and the one that actually there was two things that happened yesterday, which was crazy. The main crazy one was my brother got a weapon, equipped a weapon with an insane attack, which was it had like a 10% chance of being of like. So in For the King, you have like you roll several times, and if you get your weapon, it depends on how many successes you've got when you roll, right? And so, but this weapon, like you had like 5 or 6 rolls, but if you got all of them, you did 75 damage, which is massive. Like, that is really like probably the highest I've ever seen actually in For the King. Like it's really high. And but of this weapon, it said on the weapon that it had about a 10% chance of that triggering. Now I don't know if this is a bug or if my brother just got really lucky.
Oh no.
Because he got that 10% chance. I think it was 5 times in a row. It
Oh,
was 4 or 5 times in a
jeez.
row. And then he failed it a couple of times, but then he got it like I think a 5 on 7 was, so I think it was 4 times in a row, and then like it was a 5 on 7 by the end kind of thing. So he got it like way more than he was supposed to. Now it could just be he got lucky because it's about a 1 in 10,000 chance that you'd get it 4 times in a row, right? So it's not so lucky that it's impossible, but it is like, oh my. So that was something. Surely fish people would be permanently wet.
Oh, true.
That is true. Um, that's a good point.
It'd be a bit of a problem
Um,
if they weren't.
mm. Well, yeah, no, that's fair. Um, the other bug that we had, so in the game, this thing is called scourges, which are like these big things that will appear if you don't progress the story fast enough, and they will have a certain debuff associated to them, and you can go to where their camp is to clear them out and to clear the debuff. And so we had this scourge, which was it could make you miss any roll. So whenever you did any roll, it had a small chance of making you miss it. But I think what was happening was that sometimes we would use focus. So focus makes you automatically succeed a roll. And at one point, my brother used focus and got the roll completely well, but it failed. So sometimes to apply conditions, you need to get all of the successes, right? So he used some focus to guarantee he was going to get all the successes, and it failed. And it displayed as it had worked, right? It should have worked. And this happened a couple of times. What I think was happening is that the Scourge thing was triggering on some of the focus ones, but wasn't displaying that visually.
Ah.
And so, making you fail when it doesn't show it as failing. So that was, that was a relatively annoying bug, but it was irritating because you're kind of like you're just confused. I do feel like the fact that I make games and that like a lot of these bugs are reminiscent of bugs that I have implemented myself, kind of thing, or like, I could see happening if I made something like this, is making me less annoyed at them because I can find explanations for why, right? And it's like, okay, this is that, right? Like, for some reason, I have a weird pleasure in finding these weird bugs, but I can see why some of these bugs could be quite irritating to people.
Oh, if you've got no idea why it's happening, you just think something's broken.
Yeah, but like, if you know, like, I don't know. For me, it's like the for example, the pause one where you couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't click on anything. I couldn't like, it was my turn and I just couldn't do anything. The fact that my initial instinct was, the game might just think I'm paused, and I had pause and unpause to do that. Like, if I wasn't a game dev that had made that basically exact bug before, then I would have never thought of that, right? Granted by the fact that my brother didn't think of it at all, when it happened to him. So it's just that kind of thing where it's like, I feel like I can find solutions to these, or like I can, as I can kind of explain them to myself, it's almost becomes a game of like, why is this bug a thing? Let me try and backward figure it out, kind of thing.
Reverse engineer, yeah.
Yeah, reverse engineer. Thank you. So I think that's why I can find it relatively silly, or it's kind of almost funny when I find some of these very weird bugs.
How's your 3D modeling coming along, baby? They're locked in.
They are.
I'm figuring it out. Yeah, we're doing it.
Hell yeah.
We're getting there. I keep confusing myself with how certain things are meant to work. But I think it's kind of okay.
It's good to know. What should I put in Thorwood's one? Mushrooms.
Mushrooms is a good one.
Bones.
Bones is a good one. If you want to go crazy, you could have fires.
Have fires.
And if you want to go even crazier, you could separate those fire assets out so that I can make them fade away.
No.
Or at least I could make them wiggle as well, which would be cool.
I don't want too much movement in these background bits, because we got a lot of movement in the forefront, so you don't want to clutter anything.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair.
And I respect the enthusiasm.
But hey, if you do, but the thing is, think of it this way, right? Imagine, right, you beat the demon lord and like the flames in the background just fade away. You know, that could be cool though. You know, just fade out. It's just a small detail that could be cool. But no.
Do you think you'll see it in front of the confetti that falls down?
Oh, it'll be before the confetti, right? Or I could even do the thing where, like, as you're beating the demon lord, right, it fades progressively. I'm just saying, there's ways that this could happen. I don't know if it's a necessity, but it could be cool.
Oh, my tree is quite something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about this. I'm not entirely sold on my tree.
Did not just make a cylinder with a ramp at the top.
I possibly over. Maybe I think I overdid it a little bit. Maybe we'll see. We'll see though. You might.
Share the tree with the class.
Okay. Let me
No,
see.
you're keeping these trees away from us.
As I should though.
Need
As I
to see.
should.
People need to see.
People want their trees.
We've been discussing great trees.
We have been. In a very
They're quite productive. A lot of trees that we
productive.
never would have thought.
yeah. You don't want to have your tree not be in the history books, or something.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We know Luke's favorite tree. The Path of Exile skill tree.
Oh wow. I wasn't expecting it, but wow, so true.
Yeah, I can't argue. It's a good tree.
It's a very good tree. It's a very big tree.
Very what tree?
It's a very big tree.
Big tree. It is
The
a very
layout
big
is
tree.
impressive. There's a lot of really good art on it.
Is it bad that the first thing I wanted to say after that was your faces has some really good art on it?
Hey.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, take that, Matthew. Now get out of here. You've been shamed. Go
I
eat
have
your
been shamed.
pasta. Go eat your
Go eat
pasta.
my pasta.
Talk about my face on the stream.
I thought it was a compliment to say your face had some nice art on it. I mean, yeah. It's not just say that your face is pretty.
You're digging that hole still. Let me add some
Wow.
rocks because I think that's really gonna sweeten the deal, and then I think I'll show people.
Oh hell yeah.
You're hyping this up, like I hope you know that.
I think you guys are you're gonna love it. I don't know what you're talking about.
You sound very sure of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, when you see, you'll be like, wow. Oof.
Is that the reaction you want?
Wow. It's okay. I'm sure we'll be so stunned by its beauty, Luke, that we won't be able to say anything apart from wow.
I mean, that's what I'm, expecting, but
Again, I'm not sure why this is what you guys are hoping for.
No,
Wow.
you've never had someone go wow to the things that you've created before.
Well, I'm just not
pretty
sure. I'm just not sure that would be what I would be, hyped up about,
Why not?
Well, like, wow, oof, makes it sound like there's something wrong with it. It's like, wow, first reaction good, right? But then oof, which is like, oh, I didn't see that part. You know what I mean? Is that not the vibe?
that's fair. Okay, right. It's not looking as terrible as I thought. But there's still time. Let's see what I can. Let's get those rocks in.
What were you working on that?
I
I'm getting nowhere. I'm terrible at working while talking apparently.
Oh no. Sorry.
I was making I'm just setting up the alchemist log stuff, so the bestiary and things like that.
Oh yeah, the bestiary. Which is your favorite beast? What's your favorite My Party Needs an Alchemist beast?
Well, out of the ones I can discuss, because if we
That's
give
very
the ones
fair.
that I'm not allowed to discuss, then I have a very obvious one. But the ones we can discuss, I think my favorite, honestly, the basilisk. I like the basilisk a lot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
There's like a little orange bush guy. I like him.
Oh, the
Orange
bush
bush guy is
blight.
great. Yeah, I agree with
Where
that.
is he? Is he in this section? Oh no, he's here. He's right at the top. I love him. The bush blight is pretty great.
I think obviously I like the foxes that we got as what they were called.
Yeah.
It was
The
one of the
community
shorts,
voted
right?
ones.
Yeah, I like the foxes.
Nice one.
I actually quite I like most of the ice ones. The ice ones are very cool.
I like the rhino.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just so friend shaped. It's very cool. Oh gosh, what's my favorite? I like this little guy as well. I like the little fiery hedgehog.
Oh, the spike spy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's cool.
Oh, and the bumblebee. Oh, I like the bumblebee.
Actually, the skull spider is also pretty. I like skull spider.
Oh, yeah. These are really fun. I think that's probably one of my favorite things to do when we do projects, is to make the creatures.
Well, there's one creature missing, Lydia. Luke's been saying, that there's a jellyfish in the secret quest.
You're
We need the
right.
jellyfish,
Well, I was actually thinking of making a separate asset so you can move it, so it's not, I'm obviously not going to be here. It makes sense why you
No,
haven't
no, no.
seen it yet.
I mean, as a hostile, Lydia, as a hostile.
Yeah, I'm working on it in the background. Definitely. You haven't seen it yet, but
Actually, you know what you should do? You know what you should do? Hey, hear me out, right? When you make the jellyfish, separate its tentacles, right? And then I'll make its tentacles wiggle around. If you want
This goddamn jellyfish is gonna have more animation than the final boss.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no!
don't see why this is a problem personally, but yeah. Personally, I think the final boss should be a giant jellyfish. I mean, think about it that way.
Heck? We'll make
Oh,
the
man.
jellyfish special for you, Matt. Don't you worry.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yes, my rock. Let's go. Yeah, this is kind of more like a bush, but that's fine. I just don't get it. Look at the genius of this creation.
I'm waiting with bated breath for this dramatic reveal.
Should I try and put a skull in this little foreground somewhere? There's a lot of bones in Sorwood Forest. A lot of like war bones. I'm worried you probably wouldn't see it. Yeah, we'll hold off for now.
I do like those mushrooms. Those mushrooms are nice.
Thank you. Let's do that. Then let's put some sad trees.
Sad trees.
Yeah, the Sorewood forest trees are like sad and droopy. They dangle. So we're meant to be like willowy.
Yeah.
But evil ones. Because they're red and purple.
Truly evil colors.
Truly, truly evil colors. Oh man. I really like the Sorewood asset where I had to draw the tree with a spooky face. That made me very happy.
Yeah, it's making me think of trees again.
Oh yeah? You have
Yeah.
12 more trees.
Well, there's a tree that you need to draw.
There is a tree that I need to draw. Because I thought it was in a different region. And it's not.
You know.
No, it's literally a case of changing the color of the leaves and that's sorted, so.
Hmm,
Can you put that on the miscellaneous list for me?
I think it's on the. Oh, it's somewhere. I think. Is it not?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it might not be.
Pop it on my list, please, sir.
Sure, I'll pop up the list. Miscellaneous or story art?
Miscellaneous.
Okay, okay.
The story art
think-
is specifically for the B3 art.
I was going to check that there's an other things that I haven't added on the list. I should have added on the list. No. Yeah, just other tree.
Leaving me listless, man.
I haven't been very precise. You'll know what it means. Need other tree for story 13.
Hell yeah.
It's story 13. It's cursed. Ooh. You want to know one of the silliest things I did in this project? Because I was able to. Yeah. No. Nothing to do with pasta.
Oh, they do pat. Okay, sorry.
You
Roll
see,
that past in mind.
Goira is a character that you find in the region that you're currently drawing the background for.
Yeah, Sorewood Forest.
And she is. I think I think I can say this without too much, but she is at times like vaguely.
She's a bit spicy.
She's a bit spicy. People sometimes call her a bit like, I think there's a language or something like, "Are we sure she's not half demon?" That kind of thing. So when I was making her stats, and you get her at level 12, when she's level 12 when you get her. And so I had to create the stats for them. And how I do this is that I look at the other characters and their stats at level 12. I have a rating system that I use in the back end just to try and make sure everybody's vaguely balanced. I actually have 2 because it's hard to figure out how much the different attributes should be rated. So I made one and then I slightly tweaked it to make a second one, but I used both because they both show me like if a character is better in one of the ratings and worse in the other, then the 2 characters are probably very well balanced in a sense. But anyway, but what I have done for Goira is because what I want for Goira, right, is her starting health is high, her block is low, and then I want her to have a big width of damage. So her max damage is high, her min damage is low. Kind of what I was aiming for. And so I kind of got that to work. And so I can tweak her starting stats and I can tweak how she progresses. But for starting stats, one of the silliest things I've done is because these numbers actually kind of fit well in where I want her to be when she starts, her starting health is 66, and her block is 6. That's her starting block. So her
Oh,
starting block and starting health is 666.
hell yeah.
Which I thought was just a funny little nod to the fact that
Oh,
she
that's
is
a wonderful flavor.
supposed to be vaguely demonic. I think nobody will notice this, by the way. It's like it's such a minor detail that really is so easily missed. And that you have to kind of be like you'll
Looking
notice, but
for
you
it.
know, like you'll see that that's the health and that's the block, but you don't won't necessarily see that like there's a reference there in a sense, right?
Mm.
So it was just I just thought it was funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Oh, is it tree? Is it reveal time?
Almost. I am. I mean, I'll show you. I'll show you where I'm at right now. I may as well. Here's the card. Here's the card scene. Here's the card scene. Okay. Um. Oh, wait, hold off. I'm gonna make a last minute tweak. Okay. All right. Okay, my hierarchy is not set up very well. And as a result of this, it's hard to jump in and change things. Okay, nice. Why is that broken? Yeah, it's really annoying because like Blender occasionally is really it tries to be helpful and fails. Okay, excellent. Here is my my current little 3D scene that I've been making. I will swap to it. Now, there you go. My little scene. It's kind of bad, but it's.
Oh no, I can't see it.
It's updating. We need to wait for Twitch to get that. Ooh, trees. Oh wow.
It's my little scene.
I see why you took you a while.
I'm hoping to like touch it up a little bit more, and then I'll try and make it. Or I'll continue like I'll put this into Unreal, and then I'll start making it look not terrible with the shader pass. But this is the like that.
Oh, you doing stuff in Unreal?
Not in Unreal, sorry, in Unity.
Oh, Unity.
And then hopefully I can make it into something that looks good. But we'll find out.
Can you fly around? I want to see it from other angles.
Yeah, sure. There you go. It's nothing too crazy.
Again.
Aw.
Moving. Oh yeah.
Just a bunch of rocks and stuff.
So cute.
Just a little. Would it be called a diorama? I don't know. A
It'll
little
be a diorama.
little thing with some pillars and some trees and things. But I want to like go through and add some basically some almost like basically some texturing to some of the things because some of it's a bit too basic, so I'm going to go through and distort it, and then when we come back it should look a little better, and then I'll take that and I'll try and make something cool with it. But for now this is my terrible block out, but I think it'll work for the rendering test. So there you go. That's my 3D modeling. I'm not a 3D modeler, but this is the best I can do.
I think that's pretty good.
It's good.
Oh, this is
think I'm
the
This is the Sorwood Forest one.
Oh, I like it.
I'm gonna recolor it to be more the colors it's meant to be.
Mm.
We got that one, then we'll have this one.
Swamp. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I just completely pressed the wrong buttons. Don't worry about that.
Oh,
'Cause
no. You okay?
no, everything was breaking in my end.
Oh,
Oh no!
I see.
Everything's breaking in my end. That's okay. I fixed it, I think.
We're back to your scene. I have quite a big delay with my
Back to your
computer.
scheduled stuff.
So.
As opposed to the unscheduled stuff.
Well, I've mentioned it many times now, but I think for me the pasta calls. I'm getting quite hungry.
Hell yeah.
I might dip and go eat.
Okay. In that case, I will. If you're gonna go and eat, how are you feeling, Lydia? How do you want to do stuff? You want to keep going for a bit, or do you want to stop here and I'll post updates on the stuff I'm working on later in the Discord?
I think that's probably the smart call, because I'm about done on these 3 little backgrounds.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, this has been a bit of a scuff stream, but hopefully it's been interesting. Can I? Are you still sharing your stuff, Matt? Can we check in on that at the end?
Oh, sorry. No, I've closed things.
Oh, run it away. Run into
Yeah,
this pasta.
Okay.
I don't have that much more to show, to be honest, because I mostly there's just some code stuff in the background.
Okay.
Mostly set up the back end. But as I said earlier, I didn't actually get very far.
That's fair. In that case, we done with 3D modeling stuff, so that I can take a thing in and render it in a slightly weirder way. We've done some Lydia doing art stuff, and Matt has began doing things for the like kind of bestiary catalogue.
And I have a crown on my head.
And you have a crown.
Very importantly.
For now. But that will soon change. But hopefully this wasn't too scuffed. I'll keep working on my 3D stuff. So I'll post an update on whether or not it works, and people can tell me if they like it or not. But in the meantime, have a good evening.
Yeah, just before we head off, next week I won't be here.
Oh,
so you'll have to deal with Luke and Lydia alone.
that's a real
Hey,
shame.
don't say it like that now.
But yes, I'll be traveling, so I won't be around.
Typical gets one good win on a race, and now he's skiving from us.
And now
It's just
I'm
the
racing
arrogance
again.
of the crowd. It's the arrogance of the crowd.
But I think the week after that I should be around, and then a couple weeks after that I'll be around, but in a different way. Yeah, I know. Spooky.
The heck? This is the pasta talking.
It's the pasta talk, I think.
He gets like this when he's not had his pasta.
No, you'll be we'll be all meeting up in person. It'll be good.
We'll be meeting up in person. Yeah, exactly.
So, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys around. And we'll post an update in the Discord or something. So, yep.
Yeah.
Matt will put links for the Discord thing into the chat, like he always does at the end of these things. Hopefully, unless I need to go do that. Excellent. Thank you very much. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you. We'll see you next time. Minus Matt.
Bye.